all you space engineers out there. Commander Kingfish here, and I am back in Space Engineers 2, and we are working on some more contracts. We're going to try to get this Varadar, Valara station. We're going to try to get those contracts finished today. I don't know if we can. Matter of fact, if you remember in the last episode, I picked up this particular contract and it was 132 kilometers away. So I went ahead and flew over here just to save you the boring flight all the way over to here. And so what we have to do is move some containers around. There's a container up there, one back over there. There's 5 of them that we've got to pick up and move over and put into the storage area. The contract says renegades raided our supply base and some cargo got scattered around. Build a projected tug ship and use its landing gear to grab and deliver marked containers into the warehouse. So first thing we've got to do, and I've already mined some ores, so if we look at what we've got in here, I've already grabbed iron, silicon, and whatnot, just to see if kind of give us a little head start on what needs to be built. I know that we've got to build this. So this is the tug that we've got to build out. And let's go ahead and get these built. Hopefully this will kind of speed things up a little bit. Got that. And we've got to build a battery. There we go. And then I think the last thing that we've got to do is we've got to get in to this big thruster. We've got to build it. And what do I need? I need more nickel and more iron, it looks like. Is that right? Yeah. All right, let's go up here and get the rest of those parts, or the rest of the ore that we need. And let's see, the iron, I believe, is right up here. So we'll just grab some more of this. And I think that should be enough. Now let's get the nickel, which is right down here. Hopefully there's enough left. They didn't put a lot of nickel in here, but there should have been enough. Now we could have probably scrounged around the facility and probably found all the parts that we needed if we wanted to. This is obviously, the backpack building is a lot easier. And it can be a bit faster. And I'm kind of hoping, though, that they're going to change that up a little bit. I don't want the backpack to be that easy. A little more nickel right here. All right. It looks like a little bit more left up here. All right, let's hope that's enough. All right, let's get our welder back out. And let's get back in here. There we go. That's got it. All right. Now, we have to pick up these containers. One other thing I know that we're going to have to do is, and I might as well do it now. Actually, what I'm going to do is put the excess ore over here into sledge. And that will leave us room to grind down this entrance up here. As far as I can tell, there's no other way in. So we're going to take these out. And that way we have room in our backpack. And so there's a couple of ways when we get down there on that landing gear. You can either set it to auto lock. I prefer not to use the auto lock. I try to stay away from that. I guess it's years of playing in SE1, having run into a lot of problems with auto lock. So I tend to just stay away from auto lock. All right. So we've got a container here and we've got a container here. Let's start with one of the more difficult ones. We've got one up here, but I want to go back and get that one that's way back there. That one that's 85. Now, you can't claim these things. It's too bad. This is kind of a nice little tug. But again, you'll see that it's not all that efficient. Let's get out of this. Let's hop into here. And there's no front landing gear on it. If we go into our controls, let's check our landing gear. They are off on auto lock. So that's, which is exactly the way I like it. But while we got still a little bit of light around here, you can see that this is in kind of a mountainous area. I want to come back over and start with this one that's on this side over here. This is something I always like to try to get the hardest ones out. And I think if we swing around, kind of a mountainous area, so you really got to be careful up and in here. All right. Okay, so you can kind of see this is kind of wedged in between a couple of cliffs or rock faces in here. The other thing that you're going to see when we pick this thing up, get down here low enough. Okay, we can make connection. Let's connect to it. Now we should be able to start kind of coming straight up and back a little bit. And then we can kind of move back over to the supply base. Let's kind of come around through here. And we'll get over it. Okay, you can see that the tug is starting to sink with the cargo bay on there. We'll help it out a little bit since we're high enough up. But that's where this tug does not have that much power, lifting power. So if you was to take a blueprint of this, then you might want to make some modifications on it to give it a little more lifting power. Even a couple of more small thrusters for lift probably would be enough to counteract this. All right. Swing around here. Let's go inside. Okay. And we can drop that off. So that's one. Let's kind of get back here. Let's kind of go inside. There we go. All right, there's another one. Get turned around here. Let's grab this one that's right up here on top. It shouldn't be too bad to get. There's 5 containers altogether that you've got to grab. Down a little bit. A bit more. Are we... Oh, we're above it still. All right, let's come down a little bit. Now let's move forward. Let's grab it. And then go back inside the cab and let's pick this thing up. Get away from there. And we can kind of see where we're at here. Yeah, we're clear. And as we are coming down, let's start turning around. Get our angle down. All right. Okay. And here's another crate. Let's get in here. Okay, that one is... All right, there's 2. There's one more. And then we have the 2 that is inside of that cave. So let's get that one last one that is outside, which is back over here. It would be nice to do this in the daylight, but we've got enough dusk this time that we're kind of able to see. But again, you can kind of see all the mountain cliffs that are around here. That kind of makes this a bit of a challenge. This one is down in here. Again, as long as you're staying below 72 kilometers an hour, then you probably shouldn't worry too much about damage. If you're flying faster than that, then you're going to have a problem. All right, let's get up here. Oh, come on, why'd you do that? Come on, that's... All right. All right, we can connect. All right, let's back out of here. Start leveling out. All right, there we go. We got it. Okay. Back over to the storage area. To me, those are the 3 hardest ones. And let's see if we can get these out of the way. My sidekick, Commander Missy, has got up here on the desk and is walking around in front of the monitor. So If I go astray here, it's because of her. All right. Down we go. Are we clear of everything? I think we are. Go farther forward. Okay, yep. All right, let's drop this. All right, up just a little bit, back, 2 left. And we can go ahead and get turned around here. Now this is, again, this is maybe a little tricky, but you got to fly in through where we took those gates off. And we have 2 containers in here we've got to grab. This is where the gravity or the underpowerment is kind of makes it a little more difficult. All right, let's lock that. And I guess the easiest way to do this is to back out. Although there is enough room, but I think backing out. Come on, Missy, look out. Uh-oh, what'd I do? I am... Oh, look out, look out. All right, let's just start kind of backing out a little bit. Oh, you have no idea how hard this is with this commander up here in the way. All right, up we go. All right, let's see if we can get back out of here now. All right, get turned around. Let's get back into here where we can see what we're doing. Get straightened out here. And let's get these dropped off. Or get this one. All right, there's that one. Okay, now one more. And turn around here. And don't bump my mouse hand. Come on. Down a little bit. All right, back inside here. Boy, it makes it difficult when she is sitting here bumping my mouse hand. Okay. Down a little bit. All right, let's lock on. We're going to try to turn around here. So let's see if we can do that. See if that's not an easier way to do this. which might be actually. Looks like there's enough room to do that. All right, you just kind of got to go for it. Okay, we should be clear. And then let's get this dropped in here. And there we go. We've completed the contract. We can drop that off right there. And that's it. We can just kind of leave this parked right here. And then really the next thing, if you want to do, is start doing some looting or salvaging. So let's go ahead and go in the control panel. No, we're just going to leave everything running. We don't have to do anything with that. All right. So again, if you want to salvage, so the other thing too is, you know, if you check these boxes here, there's parts and whatnot. You can grind these down. Come in over here. And, you know, that door has motors in it. This has motors, which is stuff that you could have used to build out the little tugboat or tug ship. And if we grab these parts, and we're going to go ahead and put these in. And I'll tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to do a little more looting. I'm going to fill up some more parts into our cargo container. We've got quite a bit of room here. So let's go ahead and load this up. And once I get back to the, where is it? The contract terminal, which is on the other side of the darn planet, then I'll catch back up with you there and we'll get our next contract. All right, we're just about back here at validation station, whatever you want to call it. Let's get turned around here. Hopefully we're getting slowed down enough here. Start coming down. Let's top outside so we can see actually what we're doing here. And let's get landed right over here. We're going to need to get fueled up. All right, let's get leveled out. And hit P, there we go. We're locked on. And let's turn our engines off. And we can turn our lights off. And we're already fueled back up. Let's hop out. Let's go turn this contract in and see what else we have to do. And here we are. Okay. Now this is going to give us space movement tier 1 and more sector progress. So let's complete that. So there we go, contract completed. And new blocks unlocked. And then if we go in here to our build, to our blocks, now it's going to be under movement. So I think we've got larger thrusters and stuff. I think we had all of these. I can't remember, but I think it's given us another tier of the size of these blocks. All right, let's see what our next missions are. And let's hit F. Okay, we got an engineering excavation. That looks like that's down on the planet. That's energy storage, tier 3. And that looks like that's down on the planet as well. And so, well, let's go ahead and accept this one. And let's see how far away that is. That's 103 kilometers. All right, I'll tell you what, I am going to get over to there. And once I am there, we can go ahead and get that contract done. I'm guessing with this much flying and stuff that probably this might be our last contract that we get done. So I will see you over at the contract area. Well, as you can see, we are approaching our active contract, but while we were in the daylight, I thought I would at least let you see what the terrain looks like while we have daylight out here. You can see that there's a lot of work that they've put into these planets. Now, these are all handcrafted, and let's see if we can make sure that we're not going to crash here. Start slowing this thing down. See if we can get turned here. Looks like our active contract is just over this hill. So if we can kind of come around through here. And I think it's right over there on that hillside over there. So if we swing around and we start slowing this thing down. Again, you don't want to crash. It creates all kinds of problems. Since this is in alpha, unless you've got the ability to build you another ship, you're going to be kind of stuck out here. All right, this thing starts slowing down. I just got the dampeners on, and I just usually let the dampeners do my work. All right, almost there. Again, you can kind of see the quality of the texture, the terrain. I've got everything set on high. The only thing I don't have set on high is ray tracing, and that's on medium. All right, here is our site. Yeah, just look at the terrain down there. That's pretty impressive. And the trees and whatnot. All right, where is our landing pad? And that little bit of stuttering you see, that is the ship itself shaking. That's not drops or stuttering in the frame rate, so I had to kind of get used to that myself. So, all right, here we go. We're coming in. Okay, we got to finish this site. Land. Farther forward here. All right. Oh, I guess we need to go a little farther forward, don't we? All right. How come we're not getting... All right, down we go. There we go. Now we can connect. Let's connect. And we are connected. And let's turn our thrusters off. And we can turn our lights off. And let's hop out. It's too bad that we wasn't able to do the other one over in the daylight, but there's a look at around and the terrain and stuff that you can see. Pretty impressive, actually. All right, so what do we got to do here? We have to locate the excavation site, which apparently is in here. All right. Farther on in. And here we are. All right, so we've got to finish a battery, which means we are probably going to need some ores. So we've got cobalt and iron over there. So let's go grab some iron. We're going to need that. And again, there's containers out here as well. If we was to look in the containers, we would probably find stuff that we need. So like that compressor, I think we're going to need that. And that. And then let's grab... All right. I think we have a battery that we've got to build here. That one's done. And that one's done. All right. Let's get turned around here. We've got a drill. All right, what do we got up here? What do we need for you? Did we get enough compressors? Let's turn this over to... All right, steel. Let's, oh, the compressors we can't build. And we've got 4 compressors. Let's see. I think there should be storage. That's shower. What do we got in here? Yep, there's our other compressors. And we've got to build that. All right. Let's get that drill done. I think we should have enough parts for it now. Oh, we need more iron. All right, that iron is right over here. Let's go grab some more iron. And I'll grab a little bit more because I'm sure we're going to need it. All right. I don't want the grinder. There we go. And that is done. The gear forge, that's up here. And what did it need? Steel plates, motors, electronics, metal grids. And what do we have? We just have not much of anything, actually. Let's go over here. And I know we're going to need some cobalt. We're probably going to need some more iron, so we'll grab it. And that's probably enough cobalt. And that iron was where? Up above. Grab some more iron. And we're probably going to need some copper. And where was that copper at? That copper's right. How do we get into that copper? Well, let's turn and look this way. All right, it's around the corner here. And up. I am upside down. There we go. All right, we gotta open this up a little bit. And let's get this copper. A little bit more. All right. Now, our gear forge is back up. Oh, what do we got? Let's go into... Oh, silicon and nickel, of course. All right. There's the iron, the cobalt, and where's the silicon at? Silicon is over here. There it is. All right, let's get our silicon. And our nickel's not too far away. And we probably could have scrounged around for parts, but this is just as easy. All right. All right, let's hope we've got enough silicon. And the nickel is where? Is it back? No, it is over here. Right there. All right, let's fill up on that. Then this should give us everything that we need to finish that gear forge. Okay. All right. That should be enough. All right, let's get back. All right, let's see if we can get this gear forge built. There we go. Now, one thing interesting about the Gear Forge, if we go in here and look at it, we could build better equipment. And so if we go to, like, if we wanted an M2, we would just need a lead bar, wire, and then, of course, we have an MK1. We are not going to do that. We don't have any lead bars right now. You can get those out of large batteries. And, or you can find lead and then have them made. And make them. Okay, so what's next? We got to clear a path. Well, we got another battery. But where is... All right, where do we got to go? Where is it? This way? Oh, here's our battery. All right, do we have everything we need? Oh, more iron. You gotta be kidding me. All right, let's get that iron. Right over here. Okay. All right, that should be enough. And now this doesn't have any lead in it, but the big batteries have lead. All right. All right. Use drill to clear path to any collapsed, which is down this way. So we've kind of got to go through here like this. All right. We just got to get through here. All right, so that we can kind of keep on walking. So we're going to clear this path out. This away. Okay. All right, that's got us through. Completed. All right. Clear a path to the next excavation site. All right, a little bit more. Okay, objective completed. Oh, we got more batteries to finish. All right, great. Let's go down here and see what we got. And there better be some compressors down here. Yep, there's one. That gives us 6. That may be enough that we need. There's a couple of more. We'll grab this battery. What else we got in here? Electronics and components. Let's see if we got enough stuff to build these batteries. All right, there's one battery. And of course we need more iron. Is there any iron here? Okay, let's see what else we need. We don't have the iron handy. What do we got missing? We need steel plates. All right, we can get some steel plates here. We're not going to go all the way back. We should be able to get some out of these here. And we did grab all the components out of these. So that hopefully will give us enough steel plates. There we go. That's built. Battery 2. Now, what's left up here? What do we need? And there's the wire. And that's completed. We're not going to worry about those last two pieces of steel plates. All right, let's see if we can find our way out of here. I think we got to go back out and just follow our path back out. And again, you could do some salvaging if you wanted to. We're not going to do that. We are going to head back. We already have some stuff on us. So, all right. And this is back. This is the way we need to go. Oh, we did have an assembler. So we could have, if we go into here, here's our compressor. We could have made our compressors if we couldn't find the ones that were there. So that's nickel and copper is all we would have needed. Okay. Am I going the right way? I think I am. Yep, here we are. Back into the daylight. What was over here? Yeah, we might as well grab the copper wire. Anything in here? Battery. And then let's check inside. Oh, here's a couple of boxes. Ice. Yeah, we can put some ice in the ship. More ice. We can put that in. Let's do that. And let's go to our O2 generator. Put that right down there. And that's going to use that up. Was there anything else here? No. All right, let's go inside. Anything in here? Well, we can't use that. We are full. So we'll leave that. And that's just into the bathroom. Looks like there is a box here. And another battery. Actually, I'm going to leave this here and grab that battery. As it stands right now, there's not, with all the play that I've been doing in this so far, I haven't run out of hydrogen or ended up with my jetpack. What I have run out of is battery energy. And so obviously you get charged up here, but we can, if you have a battery on you and you run out of your energy, it will automatically pull that battery in and keep the suit alive. So it's a really nice aid in that you don't have to necessarily always run back to get charged up. All right, let's turn the thrusters on, turn our lights back on. We are going to lift off here. And we are going to come outside. And you can kind of see the textures and stuff on the cliffs. A lot of detail. Pretty impressive. We'll get out away from here. And I'll let you kind of look and see some of the terrain and stuff that's here. We'll just kind of do a little bit of flying around because I don't think we're going to be able to get that other contract done today. We've already got 2, but you might as well kind of get a feel for what the terrain looks like. So we'll just kind of fly along through here, and again you can kind of see how that looks. Kind of start swinging around. I think we want to kind of head up over this way. get up over this peak. I'm not sure why they made these so far away, unless it was just for the idea of being able to kind of see some of the terrain and stuff. And this is the way we want to go. We could stop at one of these unknown signals since this is probably going to be about it. We can kind of see what this unknown signal looks like. Maybe grab a few scraps and stuff from it. Slow down here. Still kind of slowing down. All right, let's just kind of drop straight down. Okay, that's just kicked in. Most of these unknown signals out here, and this will give us a chance to get down on the ground and the terrain. These are just little outposts and stuff that are in, and you can salvage on them. But we're just going to come down here. And bear with me just for a minute. Because what I want to do here is, let's do this. Well, actually, let's get landed down here. Let's go ahead and get landed. That's something about like this. I'm just trying to get a screenshot here so we can kind of see. Let's, if I do this, and where's my screenshot? How come it's not taking my screenshot? Oh, I think it did. All right, I'm just going to trust that it did. All right, let's bring our UI back. All right, can we get up here and land by it? This looks like it was a little bit of a mining outpost. Oh. All right. Well, let's go back inside. We're just going to leave this parked kind of right here. Now, what I like to do with these things is I come over here and I salvage, see if there's anything in here worth taking. There's a battery. See if there's anything in here. We got another container, and I don't have room for that. So what you can do is, so some of these, like the doors, construction components, you take that, just kind of grind this thing down. Like, see, this has electronic parts, motors, and we got an inventory full. Can we reach that? We can. Let's put some of this stuff in there. And we grab the rest of that. But stuff that has, like, the electronic parts and motors are very useful. And we'll grab these here. The steel, you can make that from iron, but the glass is handy. And we're probably not... Oh, we'll take this door. Again, motors and electronic parts are good. Don't need any of that. Let's see if there's anything inside in here. And it looks like it's just caverns. No ores or anything. Alright. Well, I thought you'd kind of find it interesting. This is an unknown signal. So let's go ahead and get back into our ship. And we did get a little bit of frame regression there. Alright. Let's back this thing out of here. But you can kind of see the trees and stuff too right here. And even the small plants have collision boxes around them. So if you run into them, you're going to have to walk around them. Alright, well, with darkness coming, I am going to head back to our contract terminal, and I will catch up with you there. Okay, well, as you can see, we are just about back to Valation Station. Now, one of the reasons I put a marker over there at the starter base is that you can these only show up when you're within 10 kilometers. And so unless you have a GPS marker here, you won't be able to find this place. You won't know where to go. So it makes it very hard. I don't know why they didn't make that a little bit easier to find. But by having that starter base, then I'll always know where to come back to find the Valation Station. And I see there's a research outpost. I can't remember if that's what we did or not. Let's get landed over here. We got to be close somewhere around here, right? Where are we at here? A little farther over and down. And let's land this thing. Let's turn our engines off. Our lights. And let's hop out and go turn this in. And that's another contract. We got 2 contracts done today. I would have liked to have gotten the third one done, but that's okay. We'll get that done in the next episode. And then I think we get that third one done, we will be able to head to Kamek, and that should give us fast travel. So let's complete this. Contract completed. And new blocks unlock. Energy storage tier 3. So let's take a look. Let's see our blocks. Energy storage tier 3. Oh, we got a larger battery, I believe. So that gives us the larger battery. I'd show you here, but we're inside a safe zone, so it doesn't even show up. So we had the solar panel, and then we've got the battery, and so I think if you do that, so you can see that we've got these unlocked. So we don't have that one. So if we do that, that gives us the 2.5 meter battery, and then that's the 1.5, and then we've got the small. So that's our tier 3 battery that we just got this time. All right. Let's go ahead and grab this other contract. And that's down on Verdure, a manufacturing facility, and that's going to give us fuel-based energy tier 2. So let's accept that. And we'll see how far away it is. 107. That's why we're not going to go do that today. But let's go back outside. And we'll just kind of get over here and look at the planet. And that is on the other side of the planet. That's why we're not going to do it today. We've been over there enough. And so you might, I can't remember, it didn't. You had to take the other contract before the other two would show up, which is a shame. You could have taken both of those, done those, and then come back. But I guess you got to do it one at a time. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to wrap this up. Okay, space engineers, if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up. It really does help out the video. And please subscribe. That will really help out the channel. Okay, engineers, keep your heads low, keep building away, and don't get shot. And with that, Commander Kingfish is out of here, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.